Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's short video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I wanted to make a short video, but it's again going to tie in with another video I want to make this weekend. And it's basically when you know you are with a narcissist, or another variety of a toxic person. You need to start planning your exit right this very moment. Right this very moment. Because the sooner you start planning, the easier it will be able to leave. Do not think they have changed because they bought you a gift. Or even if they admit to having an anger issue. Or they might even say they are sorry. Because if a narcissist sees you are good supply, or you have a lot of money, or whatever it is, they will indeed give you a fake apology to pacify you. So the relationship can drag on even longer. Because the longer it drags on, the more tangled up in their web you will become, and the harder it will be for you to leave. And narcissists and other toxic people, they know this fact. They know exactly what they are doing. Well, this morning I came across several news stories I want to talk about. But this one fit right in line with the theme of getting out sooner rather than later. And that is the rapper Jeezy, and his wife Jeannie Mai are getting a divorce. But what is odd in this case is Jeezy filed for the divorce from Jeannie Mai. And the reason why it's odd is the stats show that majority of the divorces are filed by the wife or the woman in the marriage. And as we talked about yesterday, just like child custody going to the woman around 90% of the time, this in no way means the mother 90% of the time is fit to have the child. When we can turn on the news and see clear as day, it's equally men and women alike doing evil to one another and their families. Narcissism is an evil condition that affects both men and women, in my humble cartoon opinion, at the same rate. And many people are starting to catch on to this fact as well. So if we are being fair that both men and women suffer from narcissism at the same rate, 50-50, then there is something drastically wrong with the mother getting custody of their children 90% of the time. This would indicate there are tons of children ending up with the wrong parent. Assuming that both parents don't have narcissistic personality disorder. And the same would be for divorce filings. We are now seeing the narcissism on full display on social media, where women are literally telling other women to divorce good men so they can live their best life, and they shouldn't feel bad or remorseful to divorce a good man that loves them, treats them well, and thought she loved him the same. Yes, in the 90% of women filing for divorce, there are some narcissistic abuse victims that are just simply trying to get away from their abusive husband. However, just like the child custody stats, there are likely a lot of wives in that 90% filing number that are filing simply because they were egged on by their lady friends at work, so they could backpack across Europe and have a fling with their tour guide. These fantasies are romanticized in novels, movies, television shows, and all over social media. A woman married to a good man might see other women posting images of themselves in Dubai seemingly living their best life. And then they look at their kind husband and feel like they are being held back. Their girlfriends egg them on, so they divorce. Most male narcissist or not, loving or not, rarely file for divorce first. Yes, a male narcissist will in fact discard their female victim when the female victim is no longer a good source of supply, and so they can latch onto a new form of supply. However, a great many of the male narcissists know that divorcing legally might be terrible for their financial situation. You see, male narcissists know how to play the game a little bit differently. They have to be a bit more plotting in my opinion. Because there are way more snares that can grab them than their female narcissist counterparts. With all that being said, Jeezy filed for divorce only after 2 years of marriage to the television host Jeannie Mai. Now again, I have no idea of what problems either of them have. However, Jeannie was interviewed and said that she has had an anger problem for most of her life. And that she realized there is a dragon in her. And she wanted to do something about this dragon so she didn't lose her husband. What this tells me is likely they both idealized one another extremely high in the first beginning stages of getting to know one another. You can see it from their photos and their romantic trips. And I believe she was married to another man for 11 years when they first started to hang out. And men and women out there, this should be a red flag. If you meet someone and they are married or they have a boyfriend or girlfriend, don't deal with this person. Don't believe their sob story. And think you are going to be the one to make things alright and to make them happy. Especially you guys out there that think you are going to be macho man and to be able to make this woman happy because her so-called weak man can't make her happy. Because he might not be a weak man at all. She just might be a woman with a so-called dragon inside of her. But you can see that Jeannie and Jeezy spared no expense to make everyone buy into their lavish life and enjoyment of one another. But the truth is, most people don't live like that. And even the rich. Because these two both are really rich. But I don't think they are wealthy. There's a big difference. And you just can't live like the way their pictures show day in and day out. You just can't keep it up. And eventually the honeymoon period starts to die down. And you start to settle into a more normal life. And guess what happens? Guess what happens? The dragon comes out. Again. I don't know if this Jeannie Mai is a narcissist. Or what problems Jeezy has. But it seems very much in line with what we see dealing with narcissists. A whirlwind romance. Jumping from one long-term relationship to another. Simply because this new person so-called fulfills me better and makes me happy nonsense. Things are hot and heavy. And they are riding high. Going from one romantic situation to the next. That is until the dragon comes out. AKA. The mask slips. And then that's when you realize what the person before you went through. They weren't a weak person. They weren't weak at all. And believe you me, they went on the same roller coaster you're on. They just stayed on it longer than you did. And this is where Jeezy is handling things correctly and where one can learn from what he's doing here. He's likely. And I say likely because I'm just humbly guessing here. He's likely realizing there is no fixing this. Now will he go on to party and hang out with one woman after the next? Maybe. Because again I don't know what toxic issues he has. However, at face value, he is doing what many of us wish we did. And that is seeing the red flags sooner. And figuring out a way to exit. And this doesn't matter if you are a man or woman. You have to notice the red flags and not stay stuck. Stuck like the narcissists wants you to stay. But move forward and get out. I believe Jeezy is filing as irreconcilable differences being the problem. Which means they aren't getting along. And he doesn't want to put her business out there. And he's filing for joint custody. And because they are both rich. I think he might be a little more richer than she is. But because they are both rich. If he gets joint custody. He might not have to pay her any money. You see. Jeezy is a street guy. That has a certain instinct. Where he's got to be able to read situations really well. And this isn't to say anything positive about the street life. But you have to realize who is your friend and who will do you dirty behind your back. And he realized, I believe, where this was all headed. Because he probably looked at the pattern that was followed with Jeannie's ex and he didn't want to be that guy 11 years later. Getting left and taken to the cleaners. So he probably said, I'm stopping this train before it really starts moving forward here. And this is something again, you fellas and you ladies with sons. Or grandsons. Make sure they aren't afraid to put the brakes on and leave. You ladies need to do the same for yourself as well. But we all know that men are told to just take it. Happy wife, happy life. And it just goes on and on and on. Before you know it, it's a mess. However, if a man gathers his evidence and files first, much like Jeezy, simply by filing first, he is in an upper hand situation. And likely after talking it over with friends and family and his legal team, they probably told him, get the heck out and do it now. They too probably pointed to her past relationship and probably let him know this is her pattern. Be sweet and nice and the too good to be true wife. And then once things get comfortable, the dragon comes out. AKA, the mask comes off. Wow. I know I said this was going to be a short video. But this is important. Because the sooner we see these red flags and the more we don't second guess ourselves, the more we can have a chance to have a better life. And we can truly spend our time with those that really care about us. Because if they really did care about us, the dragon would never come out, let alone be there to mistreat us. And having a dragon inside of oneself sounds a bit demonic anyways. But what do I know? I'm just a cartoon. With that being said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.